Shalom, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We're really glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you for clicking in, following, and sending your thoughts. We've gotten some amazing comments from you guys. Shout out to Yossi Daoud and Hannah Berger for the great stuff you shared.
Honestly, I'm pretty excited and a little anxious about today's episode.
I feel you. This is episode number 3, which might already count as a chazaka. So I think we should just say it out loud. Bli nader, bli nader. We're doing our best here, and if everything works out, with Hashem's help, we'll keep going. But hey, no promises will run like a Swiss watch, right?
Haha, true. Point made. All right, let's jump into this week's topic. Wait, just one more thing before we dive in. This past week has felt so intense. So much has happened. It's like a whole era passed since last episode.
Totally.
I'm thinking mostly about what's been going on in the Middle East. Israel standing up to defend itself and, in the process, honestly doing a huge favor to every nation that chooses life, opposes terror, and stands for values and freedom.
Yeah, and we saw President Trump, Donald Ben Fred, stepping up, leading America, the land of freedom, and standing strong with Israel. Big thanks to him for that.
Definitely. What really struck me, though, is that both Trump and Netanyahu, in their own way, paused to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu after this major moment in the fight against evil. I mean, we've all seen miracles right in front of our eyes.
Without hashgacha, none of this would have happened.
Exactly. Be'elokim na'aseh chayil. With God, we'll do valiantly. You know, it's interesting. In Hebrew, the word toda, thanks, shares a very close root to yada, which means awareness, knowing. When we say thanks, especially to Hashem, we're not just being polite, we're awakening a deeper awareness of what's really happening. We stop watching life from the outside and begin to feel the hashgacha, the divine presence in everything.
Yeah, being present, being grateful, it's powerful.
So now let's talk about the Parasha. This week we face some serious challenges. In the Parasha, Moshe isn't facing an enemy trying to destroy the nation from the outside, but a challenge from within, a direct threat to the leadership structure, someone trying to tear down the leadership structure.
You mean Korach, right? Korach isn't trying to destroy the nation. He just wants to take over.
Exactly. And this Parsha is packed. Political drama, power struggles, family tensions within Shevet Levi, conspiracies, and even straight-up miracles. The ground opens up, fire falls from heaven. It's intense.
And the Midrash adds all these colorful details, a talit that's all made to Kelet, a house full of holy books and complaints about the Kohanim getting special treatment. It's wild.
But even without the Midrash, Korach's core claim in the Pshat sounds pretty convincing. He says, Kol ha'eda kulam kedoshim. Everyone's holy. He's playing the equality card and painting Moshe and Aaron as elitists.
Yeah, where is the equality, he says. On the surface, it sounds like he's standing up for the people against some kind of spiritual hierarchy.
But looking back, we know it wasn't about unity at all. It was about ego, power, control. The unity stuff was just a cover. Even Pirkei Avot brings Korach's story as the classic example of a fight not for the sake of heaven. Machloket shelo l'shem shamayim.
And what's amazing is how Moshe responds. Right before Hashem punishes Korach, Hashem says, separate from this assembly, I'm going to wipe them out. But Moshe argues back. Ha'ish echad yechta, ve'al kol ha'eda tiktsof. One person sins, and you're angry at everyone?
It's so deep. Moshe insists on individual accountability. He says, don't lump everyone together just because they're in the same group. Even now, justice has to be precise.
Exactly. And I think Moshe and Aaron are also sending a message to Korach. Just like Hashem knows who's guilty and who's not, he also knows who's meant to serve, who's meant to be in the Kodesh, and who's not. Being holy doesn't mean everyone's supposed to do the same thing.
Right. There are boundaries. Hashem drew lines between Israel, the Leviim, and the Kohanim. That doesn't make anyone less holy. It just means we each have a different mission. As they say in Hasidus, Zusha needs to be Zusha. Korach isn't Moshe.
That contrast is so clear now. Real unity isn't about being the same, it's about each person doing their unique job. That's what connects us. That's what brings people together.
And we see this again with the fire from heaven. It draws a line between Ketoret, which is incense, that was accepted, and Ketoret that was not. It's not just action. It's intention and legitimacy.
And then again with the staffs. When the tribal leaders complain, each of them places a staff, but only Aaron's staff blossoms with flowers and almonds. That was Hashem's way of highlighting individual distinction, even between leaders. This isn't about popularity, it's about purpose.
I love that you brought that up. And even when Moshe sets the test to take place in the morning, Boker, V'yudah Hashem et asher lo, he's making the same point. The world has divinely set boundaries. There is Boker and there is Erev. We can't blend them just because we want to.
Exactly. So throughout the whole narrative, from Korach's claim to the incense, to the staffs, to the timing, Moshe keeps sending the same message. You can't erase boundaries with feel-good slogans. If the motives are off, the message falls apart. You can't erase distinctions by shouting equality if the motivation is corrupt.
So yeah, that's the big takeaway this week. You can't cry justice when really you're chasing control. Don't be fooled by smooth talk or catchy claims. If the motive is off, it's not truth. Korach wasn't just rebelling against Moshe, he was pushing against how Hashem runs the world.
Which is why Hashem responds by creating something new in nature. That's why the ground had to open up. That's why the earth had to speak. It swallowed the lie.
So let's end with this. Not every call for equality comes from integrity. Just like in Korach's story, we've got to listen closely, not just to what people say, but to why they're saying it. Truth matters. Sometimes we need to dig through the dirt to find the truth. And we're here to choose mission, not populism.
So thanks for another awesome conversation.
Always a pleasure. And thank you all for listening. Please let us know what you thought.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, and may we all hear a Besorot Tovot.